Hello, dear children. In today's class, we'll be going to discuss the topic Spectator Club. So, coming to Spectator Club, this is an essay written by Richard Steele. So, we'll be discussing the central characters, the main characters that appear in this essay, the Spectator Club. So, here you have the names of the major characters, the central characters. The first one, Sir Roger de Coverley. The second person is a student of law, who's a bachelor, and the third person is Sir Andrew Freeport, and then Captain Sentry appears in the story or in the essay, and also Will Honeycomb and the clergyman. These are the major characters of this essay. So the Spectator, it is a weekly magazine actually, and the portion we have to study, the Spectator Club, is an essay that appeared in the Spectator, and the Spectator is a weekly magazine from 1711 to 1712 and 1714. It is authored by Joseph Addison and Richard Steele. These two names you must not forget, because while wherever you see Joseph Edison related to the name, you can see Richard Steele. And these two people were the persons who took the initiative for the weekly magazine, The Spectator. And it followed an earlier publication called The Tatler. And this was also by Addison and Steele, and both were highly influential literary periodicals in the 18th century. So during the Augustan period, these two periodicals, that is the Spectator and the Tatler, were really highly influential literary periodicals. So you'll have to remember about the names, the Spectator and also the Tatler, and the authors Joseph Addison and Richard Steele. So the essay we have to study, the Spectator Club, is written by Richard Steele. And Richard Steele is a person who introduced the Spectator Club, and the character of Sir Roger de Coverley. As we saw earlier, he is one of the central characters. Sir Roger de Coverley, he was a 56-year-old bachelor and a country gentleman who was its central figure. That is, Sir Roger de Coverley is a central figure we see in this essay, and the other members, as we told earlier, include a merchant named Sir Andrew Freeport, and there is a lawyer, a soldier, a clergyman, and there is a socialite named Will Honeycomb, and they all contributed to the magazine. The Spectators Club was the group Steele often interacted with, and its members include, as we said earlier, those were the members, and Steele described their personalities and their conversations through this essay, The Spectator Club. And we are coming to learn about each of these characters. So in this lesson or in this video, you'll be going to get deeper into the thoughts and the life of the characters. So the first one, Sir Roger de Coverley, he is a 56-year-old baronet, and he had a strong family history. He was somewhat out of touch with the world, but he remained a gentleman. And Richard Steele suggested he stayed single due to a past love tragedy. Sir Roger, he dressed in outdated fashion. He did not follow the contemporary fashion techniques or anything. He dressed in outdated fashion, and he maintained a good house in town and country. People loved him more than esteemed him, and he served as a country justice of the peace. So this is what you will have to know about Sir Roger de Coverley. He is a 56-year-old person, and he remained a gentleman even if he wasn't that much in touch with the world. And the second character is a nameless lawyer. He's another bachelor, and as we said earlier, who's the other bachelor? Sir Roger de Coverley. He had a past tragic love story, and he remained a bachelor. That is, Richard Steele considered, or he thought it's better for him to remain a bachelor. And then the nameless lawyer is another bachelor that appears in this essay, and he became a lawyer at his father's behest, but he knew little about the law. That is, he didn't know anything about the law actually, but he's a lawyer and he's not named. He was more interested in literature. So more than he was interested towards law, he was interested in literature, and he had a sharp wit and a critical mind, which is much important while learning literature for a literature enthusiast. And he was also well versed in ancient customs and observed the modern world delicately. So, this is what you have to know about the nameless lawyer. And the third person is Sir Andrew Freeport, who was the business minded member and a prominent merchant in London. So, while we say he's business minded, we might think that he's like a really intelligent person, but he had a good sense and discourse. Okay, it's true that he had a good sense and discourse, but he lacked great wit. He didn't have much of an intelligence or great wit or anything. And he also was a wealthy man who was involved in shipping, Freeport like shipping. And the next person is Captain Sentry. He was a near ideal gentleman except for excessive modesty. He used to behave gallantly, that is, like in a heroic manner, but became the heir to Sir Roger, altering his life. So, Captain Sentry was the person who became the heir to Sir Roger. And Captain Sentry was open in conversation and he had many interesting stories from his years of military service. That is, he's a captain, he served in the military, so he had many interesting stories to tell. The next person of the Spectator Club is Will Honeycomb, known for his knowledge of the pleasures and gallantries of the time. And he is meticulous about his appearance to hide his true age and is particularly skilled in matters related to women. He contributes to the club by making conversations lively. He is one person who makes conversation lively while they are engaged in the club. But outside of matters concerning women, he is considered an honest and worthy man. That is only in the case of women. He's known as particularly skilled in the sense, and outside of that, he is considered as an honest and a worthy man. And the last member, he's an unnamed clergyman. He rarely attends the meetings of this club, and he's a philosophical clergyman with excellent manners, making him an acceptable addition to the club. So he's a very much important person in the Spectator Club, and while he doesn't initiate discussions, he often offers insights on deeper spiritual topics, possibly because the other members are aging and seek his perspective. So he's a young person who has certain topics to contribute in their discussion while their discussion goes on. And while Steele highlights the virtues of these gentlemen in the Spectator Club, their flaws are also evident upon closer examination. That is, not only their virtues are portrayed in this essay, he also portrays their flaws. Their mistakes are also provided in the essay, and none of them are flawless gentlemen. That is, all of these persons who appear in this essay has their own flaws, their own mistakes, but their imperfections add to the charm of their conversations. That is, every person is imperfect, but their mistakes that adds to the charm of their conversation. So these are the things you'll have to learn in this lesson and know about the major characters. That is Roger de Coverley, the student of law who is a bachelor. Sir Roger de Coverley is also a bachelor. Sir Andrew Freeport, Captain Sentry, who has many stories related to his military service, then Will Honeycomb, and finally the clergyman. So I hope you have understood what we learned in this lesson. So thank you.